All right, so welcome to our little CVO gun talk on stabby stuff. Eric asked me to bring in some stuff I have. I have a knife problem, so this is my collection.
I wouldn't call it a problem.
Yeah, I've evolved, right?
Yeah.
We've talked in the past about training with knives. I'm in no way trying to represent myself as a trained martial artist with knives, but I've done a lot of knife training. And based on that, just like a lot of other things, I find what I like, but you don't throw away stuff you already have.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So
you become a collector at that point.
Right. So over here, I mean, just everybody's got these. These are just my normal, like, hey, I'm going to cut string knives, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to talk about these real quick, but primarily I want to talk about knives for self-defense. But everybody's got your cut string knives, right? I bought this at the PX in Italy back in 1990-something, so I still have that. You got a Swiss Army knife I carry every day. Everybody's got the,
Yep, the buck knife.
Buck knife, right?
Yep.
So I don't carry these for self-defense. These are for to cut in boxes, clean a deer, whatever, right? So don't think that this buck knife is what you need for self-defense. And we'll talk about that.
Yep.
So that stuff goes over there. That's just kind of like I have those to keep. The main two types is kind of like the 9mm versus 45 controversy is fixed blade versus folder.
Yep.
Right? I have a few of both. I'll tell you guys right off the beginning, based on my experience in training, a small fixed blade knife is the way to go.
For self-defense.
For self-defense,
Yep.
Absolutely. But if you don't have one of those and you can't get one right away, we can talk about some folders. So I have a few different kinds of folders here that I do carry occasionally. So we've got the Spyderco. This is the Delica, I believe. And I've got it set up for weak side carry. I switched the pocket clip, so it's not over here. It's going to be over here, right? Because I set it up, it's got this wave feature. I don't know if you guys can see this. Wave feature. Right, there we go. Right? So I buy a lot of my knives with the wave feature, and it's set up, like I said, weak side. So this particular knife, you put it in the back of your pants so that wave will catch on the back of your pocket. So when you grab it, it's already, it's kind of assisted opening.
Gotcha.
Kind of an assisted opening. So it's opening as it comes out. So like I said, this one's set up for weak side carry. So that's the Spyderco. I'm a big Spyderco fan. Benchmade makes some good knives, but I just like Spydercos.
Yep.
So that's a folder. This is a Kershaw Emerson, right? It's got a different kind of assist. It's just got a little button or a little assist device. It's got a little bit of a wave. This is set up for strong side. So the problem with folders is you have a hard time with in-fight access, right?
Yep.
There's a lot more opportunity for them to go flying and then just more complicated. And as we talk about with firearms, efficiency is better.
Right.
So, but if you are going to carry a folder, I would suggest Chris Fry with MDTS training, which I've worked with. I've taken a few of his classes. I've taken his practical small knife 1 and 2. He uses what's called the STAB acronym, right? So that's basically if you're going to access a folding knife during a fight, it's slap, like we're going to find the knife, slap, right? Acquire, right?
There's a T.
Tuck. So you tuck your thumb behind the knife, so you kind of got it like this. Acquire, and then brace, right? So on that knife I just showed you, the blade would already be out, but let's say that this is this kind of knife right here, you've got to do the assist. So you're going to brace it so somebody can't take it away from you.
Okay.
And then you're going to open it.
Gotcha.
So slap, tuck, acquire, brace.
Okay.
And that's kind of his acronym for how you access a folder knife during a fight.
Right.
So you can see that that's just a little harder to do, right? So it's not optimal, but it'll work.
Just trying to think of so the brace part, right? So to me, it's like if you're actively engaging, right? So if I got,
so you're gonna have to fend the guy off
exactly,
like that, right?
and you have to blade your hip away when you're accessing it, right?
Yep. And the reason you brace it is it's less likely to get knocked out of your hand
Right.
at this point.
Right. Well, you got multiple points of contact.
And you can open it, and now, I mean, and you'll learn this in EWO when you can go, we can go like,
right. Exactly.
like
Use your
that's
hips.
hard to like
Right.
stop.
Right.
Right.
So I'm the way that I'm thinking about it is so with an open fold, right? So I know if you're going to be up against somebody, you're not always going to be like straight up, right?
No.
You're going to be crunched
Yeah.
in. So to me, when you have it here, when you're crunching in, is there like an opportunity where like they're coming in or whatever when you're opening up to like potentially stab yourself as it's opening? Or
Yeah, there is that opportunity,
Yeah.
and that's why folders are not as
Right.
efficient, right?
Right.
Because there's more moving parts, and it's just harder. And when somebody's trying like to kick your ass
Right.
and getting that out, it's tough,
Right.
A little bit better option, and I'm going to talk about reverse edge. This is the Pakal, designed by Craig Douglas, it's made by Spyderco.
Okay.
Right? It's got an assist device right here. It's got the reverse edge, which I prefer, and I'll
Yep.
talk about that. But this is a folder, and it works kind of like that Spyderco. Instead of having it in the back of your pocket, though, it's in the front of your pocket. And I carry this one all the time. When I used to work at the college, and I couldn't really carry a fixed blade, nobody gives a crap about.
right.
That's the other thing. People really don't care about these clips hanging out because nobody thinks of a knife as a dangerous weapon. I mean, the general public,
Right.
But they can be, right?
Oh yeah.
So I kind of keep it in the front of my pocket like this, and then it opens up like that,
Okay.
right?
So it opens up right to like a
Like a reverse
typewriter type
Yeah,
style.
so a reverse grip, right? You can turn it in your hand, do whatever. So it takes a little practice with this. You got to kind of have a positive draw,
Right.
So it just comes out.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is the Pakal made by Spyderco, designed by Craig Douglas because it's designed for his kind of like
Right.
recommendations.
Because he likes the reversed edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the point driven methodology. So you're not going to be slashing.
Right.
You're like, I'm
Stabbing.
driving the point. I'm driving the point. Right. That's kind of the methodology we're looking at. So those are the folders that I carry sort of on a regular basis. I don't really carry this one as much. I keep it in my car just as a last ditch because I don't really. This is like the worst
Right. You
opening
don't
system,
like
right?
Right. Exactly.
So I'll carry these once in a while.
So then I can see how a flipper. That's
Yep.
an index flipper. That's even
So,
harder.
Yep. So Tucker's got one of these. These are pretty common. I'll be honest with you, Tucker. I have a few of these. I never carry them. It's way too hard to like, hey, let me find this little
Right.
thing and
Then it
and
flips
look
open.
how I got to do that, right?
Right.
Like
Yes.
I'm not even holding on. Somebody can knock that out of my
Right.
hand like super easy.
Yep.
This is a
That's a box opener.
box
Yes.
opener. I was gonna say this
Yep.
is a string cutter.
Right.
Like I
Mhm.
wouldn't use it as a
As a defensive tool.
tool.
Yep.
I mean, you can. That's the cool thing about knives. Like you can.
I mean, yeah.
Right? But you can. There's better choices.
Right.
Better choices. All right. So I've talked about folders.
Yep.
Secondary to small fixed blades, and I've got quite a plethora here.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk about these. So first, I'll talk about these. These are a little bit bigger. I don't carry this one a lot. This is about you got to look at local laws, just like with firearms. Here locally, 3.5-inch blade is about as long as you can carry concealed, and you got to have a concealed carry license to carry, anything bigger than that. You can carry anything open. Mm-hmm. Like you can carry, this is my big old like drop knife, right? But you can carry that open all day. This is the Street Beat by Spyderco. So it's just a regular old straight blade, nothing fancy about it. It's a little bit on the big side. I don't really carry it. This is just like everything else. You try it. When I was first getting into knives, I asked people's opinions. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me to buy this. Mm-hmm. I bought it and I was like, oh, that's cool. But like, I really don't like this clip.
Right.
And it's kind of big.
Right.
Right. Will it work? Absolutely.
Right.
Right. And you need to look at, the guard and the pommel
Right.
and the edge. And I'm not going to talk about that stuff right now. So do your research. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff.
And that one looks like you can only do like the
Yeah,
parry
that-
thrust motion. Doesn't look like you can go like
yeah,
reverse hand with
that's
that
a
one.
regular edge knife.
Yep.
So regular edge, traditional edge knives that I have, Colorado River knife and tool. If you're on a budget, they sell some nice little knives that'll work in a pinch. This one right here is their CRKT Minimalist. I bought that at Menards for $15.
There you go.
That's a nice little knife. I mean, you could do some work with that, right? Mm-hmm. It's only got about 1.5 inch blade, but it's like $15. It originally comes as like a neck knife. I don't like things around my neck, so I took it off.
Yep.
This is just one I grabbed because they're $15. I have like 6 of these.
Right.
I've went and got little Velcro clips and just put them on the sheath, and I can put them on my belt or
Okay.
whatever. These are kind of like if I don't have anything, this is good. This is also a CRKT knife. It's a little bit more purpose built. It's got actual
Clip on there.
but it's a traditional edge, a little bit longer blade. This one's under $20. It's the SPEW. So these are nice little fixed blades that you can just acquire if you're just looking to have something, and they're pretty cheap. This one is made by Red Knife Steel. Now his stuff is a little bit more pricey. This is called the Scalpel. So I think this one cost me like $200.
Okay.
Something like that. So it's more custom. This is more
Right.
custom, right? I honestly primarily use this pheasant hunting. I use
Okay.
it to cut the birds up
Right.
with. But you can also use it as a secondary defensive tool, right? So it's got a nice little case.
I like the grip on there.
Yeah, it's got a nice grip.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got some bite to it.
Yeah, so Red Meat Steel, he does some good work with manufacturing. So speaking of neck knives, I'll kind of talk about that right now. I don't even know who made this knife. I bought it as a cheap-ass knife, but I left it as a neck knife just so I have one. Same as kind of the CRKT. So this is made by M-Tech, but it's similar. So if you want to keep a neck knife, like when I'm running or something, like you got different levels. Like sometimes you just can't have everything.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
It'd be nice if I could carry a howitzer with me everywhere I go.
Everything's a compromise.
But, I'll put this on while I'm running, and I got it under my shirt. And then worst comes to worst, you can, you got
Get it out,
something, right?
right.
And one thing I did so that if somebody grapples with me and they try to grab this, try to do it without breaking the thing here. I put little pop things on here, right?
Oh, so it
breaks.
Oh, okay.
Right?
It's magnetic.
Actually, they're just plastic.
Okay, there's clip in.
So you can buy these ends, these little pop
Clip-in
ends,
ends.
on Amazon. I bought like a bag of them for like $5, and I cut the original neck thing because it was just a
Yeah, just
solid
like
thing,
yeah.
right? With like little tightener. I'm like, I'm not getting strangled by my
Right,
own shit.
exactly.
So I just installed these on there. So if somebody pulls, I mean, they could still strangle you with it, but if they pull really hard, it'll pop.
Right.
So I kind of set it up like that.
Gotcha. And that one's, you have to use 2 hands to draw that one, right? Because you have to retain it and then pull it.
Yeah, you kind of got to hold it down and like
yeah.
hold it, because otherwise it's going to flop.
It's gonna
all
flop
over.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a little practice on that. But once again, this is like, we're kind of going from least efficient to most efficient,
Right.
but workable. Like this is, if you got nothing else, this will work.
Right.
All right. So now I'm going to talk about most efficient. Then lastly, I'll talk about some like oddities, right? So small fixed blades that I think are the most efficient. So a couple different examples. This is the clinch pick right here. This is also designed by Craig Douglas. It's my go-to. It's the one I carry almost every day. It's got an egg-shaped handle. I just bought the version 2 a couple months ago where they kind of flattened out the sides and got a little grip, but essentially the same.
Yep. Because I have the version 2.
Yep.
Right. So this
So you
one,
can feel the difference,
Yep.
right? So that it can turn in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of takes that problem
Right.
away, but essentially the same. So clinch pick is, I think that's 2.5 inches, and it's got the reverse blade. And so you can use it, and like I said, it's point driven, right? So you get a good grip, and you can thrust, or what I like to do is the reverse,
Right.
Right? Because that's more natural, right? To me, like
Well, it's
you're
typewriter
just,
motion.
You're just typewriter.
Yep.
And I was talking to these guys earlier before we started. If you do slash, you can kind of come down in a motion like this and then draw it across,
Right.
So you're kind of ripping,
Right.
And it's just more natural. So I prefer the clinch pick, and I've got it set up with a couple different.
well, this one's got like the
I've got a
clip on
couple
there.
different scabbards here. So this got kind of like the normal loop. That one has it's a clip on the back, right? So same thing, but it's just got a clip on the back. These are aftermarket. I didn't bring the other one. So Cecil Birch designed one that has two loops that keeps it down in like that 40-degree angle. So Cecil teaches. I've got one of those. I just didn't bring it. And then this one has got a quick clip on it or discrete carry. I don't know if that's discrete carry, but something similar, and that keeps it in an upward orientation.
Yep.
You know, if
yeah,
you need
because
to.
when I carry it, it's right here at like a 45.
Dark Star.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, because it's just right here. So
Yeah,
I
and
can-
that's the way it's designed, kind of the 40 degree.
because it'll follow your hip line, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, but I've got this just so that I can keep it upwards if I need to. These right here are Ken Crawford knives, and Ken's a friend of ours, and I've got a couple of these. Similar idea, nice grip on them to keep things from kind of an egg-shaped grip, but
Right.
like a little rougher.
Yep.
Not a reverse edge. This is more the traditional edge.
Yep.
You can still use it for that point-driven. So I've got a couple of those. I like the way these lock into the sheath pretty good.
Yeah, because there's one of them that had a little bit of play to it. Yeah, this one right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, but like the one that Craig sells with. the
I
kit,
don't think
that
I
one's
have the standard. I don't have the standard sheath on any of those.
This one isn't.
That is for the
Okay,
version
yeah,
2.
it's like, 'cause this one looks like the exact one, and this one's got no play, and you have that positive. It's
Yeah.
out, and then
So the standard or the original sheath with this one's bigger, and I bought this aftermarket smaller.
yep,
But
yeah,
and then also these are punch daggers, also made by Shivworks
Yep.
or sold by Shivworks. So that's the original punch dagger, and you can see it's a little bigger, the handle. So how they work is just you grab them and you punch, right? That's how it works. And check local listings for for legality. It's legal around here. And it's got a clip. It sits in an upper
Right.
orientation. I use this one on my duty gear because it's a
Okay.
little bigger.
Yep.
This one just came out. He redesigned it because people didn't like the huge handle on this. This is the same thing. It's called the El Nino. It's the same. Like, I never actually looked, so let's look right now.
that one's a lot smaller.
These blades are the same size.
Right, but the
handle
itself,
handle's
yeah.
smaller. And it comes with the discrete carry clips right here, already part of the scabbard, and it just same thing you're punching with.
Yep.
It. So I mean, if that's something that you think may be useful, it's not a. I mean, these edges are like not even sharp, so it's not a slashing
meant for
knife.
poking.
It's made for poking, not slashing. Right. So those are kind of my go-to, right? If I carry anything, it's going to be the clinch pick, and I carry this sometimes in gi pants and sweatpants and whatever. So let's talk about stuff that you can use in lieu of a knife that's may or may not be considered like an actual knife in different situations. So let's talk about setups and special situations. So this is called a pocket shield. Okay. It's I think it's Dark Star gear. Can
Raven concealment.
Raven, sorry. It's got a Raven right on it. So it's designed by Chris Fry, MDTS training. I got about a bazillion of these. You can buy them pretty cheap, and I use them for all different things. This is a setup I got. This is a scabbard for ass pepper spray, and this is the TDI law enforcement knife. Also kind of a punchy knife. Hoping people can see that. I've been putting it right in front of my black shirt.
Right.
So this is the made by K-Bar TDI law enforcement knife. Pretty good. And you just stick this in your pocket, and it's a place to, like, I got this set up for left side.
Okay.
For weak side. And pull it out and do whatever. This is the same thing I've got set up, and here's my ass pepper spray. This is my work rig setup. This is what I wear at work. Pepper spray. And then this is the TDI Shark Bite. It's a non-metallic knife, and it's got a pretty innovative scabbard. It just clips into the middle.
Oh, okay.
Right here. And so you just unclip it and pull it out, right? And more of a punch knife, too. And it's non-metallic. If you guys want one of these, once again, if you want one of these, I don't get anything off of them, but they quit production on these. Mm-hmm. I just bought 5 of them on Amazon. So they're like $15 a piece.
Oh, ain't bad.
So buy you one now because they're not going to be around forever, right? So that's set up. I'll get into some other non-metallic knives I have too, but this is the K-Bar LDK last stitch knife. I have these on my boots, a few different pairs of boots, but it's just, I mean, if you got nothing, it's better than nothing, right? You just grab it like this, got a little rough spot, and you can pokey and jabby with it, right?
Create space.
This was designed by Greg Elefritz. If you guys are familiar with Greg, Google him. He puts out a lot of content on YouTube and everything else. So last stitch knife, and you can kind of tie it into your boot laces and whatnot. This could be a neck knife as well, I suppose, if you just put something here.
Yep.
So non-metallic knives. Sometimes you need knives, like maybe, I don't know, Ernie, a Rainbow Kitten surprise concert where they use a metal detector to make sure you're not taking weapons in. Maybe you may or may not have taken this one in. I don't know. So anyway, I don't even remember who makes this. I'll try to find out. But this is just a little metallic or non-metallic reverse blade knife I have, just made out of polymer material, right? I carry this a lot just on my fanny pack.
Right.
And then this one's a little bit more high speed, this was made by Zulu Bravo Kydex, a little bit nicer one. Same scenario though.
Really light.
Yeah, super light.
Surprisingly sharp on there
So
too.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do they cut?
They could. I mean, they're primarily made once again for the point.
Yeah.
But they could, I suppose, cut for a while anyway till it gets too dull.
Yep.
Like I said, Zulu Bravo Kydex makes this. I think this cost me about $180. So I carry this one a lot too, and they have these securement systems, just stretchy cords that just go around your belt. And come on there. All right, so that's the knives, but I wanted to talk at the end here about some stuff like, what if I can't have knives? What if I can't even have a non-metallic knife, right?
Yep.
So, I've got the random set of tactical pens,
Yep.
which everybody nowadays knows what they're for, so
Right.
you're probably not going to get away with that. So here's a suggestion for you. I actually got this from Greg Elefritz as well. I carry these all the time. This is my backup set that I had you buy these on Amazon. These are the Zebra F701 pens, right? These are actual pens. If I can get one open here.
You got a knife, right?
Yeah. See, you guys can see these a little better. There you go. So this is an actual pen, but it's made out of stainless steel.
Okay.
You poke somebody in the eye with that, they're going to feel it. It's indestructible. It writes good. They're about, I don't know, I think this 2-pack cost me under $20.
Okay.
It's got a knurled grip on it. If I can't carry anything stabby,
You taking one of them?
I got my pen.
Yeah.
Right? And they can't say, oh, that's a tactical pen. No, it's not. It's like an actual
It's
pen.
an actual pen.
Yeah. It just happens to be very sturdy. So think about something like that, right? So that's kind of my quick overview. I don't know how long we went, but a quick overview on knives. Recommendation, short or a small fixed blade knife is the way to go.
Yep.
And then go get some training with it.
So if you got your plethora of knives, and I know you said you're a fan of the clinch pick. I know you, me, and John all have the clinch pick. Is that kind of your go-to? Like if I had one choice out of all these knives, that's the one.
Yeah,
that
I'd probably pick the clinch pick. Yeah, just because Craig designed that specifically for the application of which I'm using it for.
Right.
It's not being put into that application. It was designed for that application.
Right. It's not something like, oh, this fits for that purpose. It was a specific design-driven.
Yeah.
Here's what it's for.
Yeah.
Well, and I know you're not wearing a belt, but like the positioning of that is just as unique as the knife itself.
Yeah.
If I don't know if people don't know about that knife, they're probably not going to understand the unique positioning.
So, man, it's really hard. I should have worn a different color today. But maybe Eric can
here.
show.
So, like when I have mine, it goes right here. So it just fits right there. It follows your hip line in, and when you go to draw it out, because you can go either way, right? You can go
it's supposed to be
strong
access
hand,
from both hands.
and then we can. So it can be grabbed either way. But that's how it sits. This way you can sit with it. It just follows your hip line in, and that's how. And it just marries right up there with the with your belt.
And
So-
it's super comfortable and easy to use. And literally, you could buy one and not have any training, and you'd be able to use it.
Right.
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 Just because it's ergonomically comfortable in
Yep.
your hand. So.
Yep.
All right.
And like to me, the nice part is like the reverse edge. Like I never heard of a reverse edge before until like you started talking about Craig Douglas, and I was like, oh, that makes sense because you can stab and pull, or down and slash.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
to me, it makes a lot of good sense.
Yeah.
If people are interested in that and they want to find one easy place to see both grips, that position, and then the unique use of like the rotating the hips and all
Yeah.
that video with Craig on John Lovell's channel.
Yep.
Yeah, so
he really
Warrior-
shows really well.
Yeah,
that-
Warrior Poet. Yep.
Warrior Poet Society. Craig's affiliated with them. He's got a lot of good videos out there.
Yep.
He's got some stuff on YouTube. He doesn't put out a great bunch of content. Where Craig puts out most of his content is Instagram. So follow his
Yep.
Instagram site.
Yep. And I think his Instagram handle is Shivworks.
See, it's Shivworks.
Yeah.
Or South Narc. Mm-hmm. So his original, like when he started his company, he was still active law enforcement and he was a narcotics officer. And he's from Mississippi, so he started calling himself South Narc.
Okay.
And a lot of his stuff is still under South
Okay.
Narc, even though he's
Yep.
been retired for a while. But
Right. Yep. Cool. Yeah. So, and I think you can actually pick these up through John Lovell's website, Warrior Poet
Yep.
Society.
Or Shivworks site itself.
Yep.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of different places where you can get them. I think I ordered mine right from Shivworks when
Yeah.
the 2.0 dropped.
Yeah.
And I got mine with the trainer. So you can get this, just the knife itself, or you can get the trainer itself, or you can get the knife and trainer combo, which is what I got.
So the trainer is going to look similar to this. It's going to be red.
Yep.
Right? And it's going to look similar to this, except all the edges will be rounded.
Yep.
Right? So you
No
just
point.
practice no point or anything like that.
It's a rounded edge and
Yeah.
bevel top, so this way there's no cutting or poking.
Yeah.
It's
And
metal
just
pushing.
beware if you're looking for the clinch pick, make sure you're buying them from the right source. There's copies out there.
Oh, okay.
There's copies. So
China.
So there's copies. All right.
Awesome. That's Mike's knife overview. I'm just now getting into knives, and I was telling Tucker right before we started, I was like, man, this could be another rabbit hole I'm going down.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean you see, right? I just
So-
like anybody else, I started off with like this
buck knife, yeah.
like the old buck
Yeah.
like assisted
Folder,
folder, and
yeah.
I'm like that ain't gonna work.
Yep.
And I started getting the folders, and I found out that while they will work, this is a lot easier.
Right.
And you're like, oh, but I can't always carry a knife, so maybe I need something non-metallic.
Yeah.
And,
No, it's something real incognito.
yeah, or something small.
Yep.
And, yeah.
So-
same techniques. You can still stab people in the eye with this pin.
Yep.
So
Awesome. Well, that's what we got for today. We're doing talking about knives, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to continue to put more out, right, Mike?
Yep, you bet.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.